This is the pelvis of a 28-year-old woman. I made it. I made it to resemble the pelvis that's in my own body, but I didn't make it for me. I made it for another 28-year-old woman, Ashta, who was born in Sudan, a country in northeastern Africa. Ashta gave birth to 9 children through a pelvis like this, though she's lost 4 of those children in the genocidal war that's ravaged her country. I made it so that I would never forget her, so that her story would always have a place to be told. I made it to remind myself that her and I are connected as women, as human beings with the same physical makeup, as daughters, and that her story is a part of my story because we share a history on this earth, and therefore we are responsible to each other. I'm an artist, and I'm an activist. I've spent the past couple of years working on large-scale art installations that engage hundreds and thousands of people to act on behalf of a social cause. And through my experience, it's become incredibly clear to me that art is an extraordinary tool with which to engage and build a community around an issue, and to connect people with that issue in a very personal way. One of the powers of art is its visibility. You know, when we think about overwhelming issues in the world, it's easy to feel powerless and helpless. One might ask, what can my lone actions do to change anything? Or is anyone else bothered by this issue? But making art creates something that everybody can see. It creates an outlet to share your activism with one another, and because of the emotional capacity of art, it inspires others to care. My current project is called 1 Million Bones, and it's a fundraising art installation recognizing the millions of victims and survivors who have been killed or displaced by ongoing genocides. And genocide is when a group of people are targeted by their government or another group of people to be eliminated or killed. It's happening today, and families in Sudan and families like Ashta's are being targeted by their government, whose actual job it is to protect them. So the mission of this project is to increase awareness that this is happening and to raise funds that would help protect, aid, and advocate for those who are affected. The idea is to get 1 million people to each create 1 bone representing the story of a victim or survivor. Installed together, these 1 million bones are going to flood the National Mall in Washington, D.C. like a mass grave, unearthing the memory of the millions of genocide victims who have suffered under our watch. We ask that each bone be sponsored for $5, so we're trying to raise $5 million to be donated to our partner organizations who do work to protect and aid and advocate for those who are affected. As a visual artist, I tend to understand things better in a visual context. And so the idea of recreating a mass grave struck me as a way to express the gravity of this issue to a multitude of people. I knew that viewing a mass grave would have a profound impact on me, that my grief would move me to take action. But most of us will never view a mass grave, and most of us will never understand what a pile of human bones looks or sounds or smells like. We're lucky not to have to experience that. But our distance from these frightening details also makes it easy for us to turn away from the issue or to feel powerless to do anything about it. If we want our governments to pay serious attention to the issue of genocide, we need to shock them. We need to inspire them. We need to show them that this is an issue we care about, and therefore they should care about it too. We need to send them a message the likes of which they have never seen before. And 1 Million Bones will be that booming message, and it will be signed by people just like you. When these bones made by 1 million different people are installed on the National Mall, they'll testify to our common humanity. There is no denying that we are all united by our physical makeup. And this project is a call to every one of us. It's a call to you to consider what it would mean to study your own anatomy, to choose a bone in your body and think, what does that bone mean to me? What ability does it allow me? And what value do I place on that ability? Because oftentimes it's what we value that we take actions to protect. And then think what it would mean to recreate that bone that exists in your own body, but is the symbol of the life and the ability lost to someone like Ashta or her children. What truly have we lost? And then think what that experience might mean if you knew what you created could then serve as your voice and your action and your testimony. That we lose far too much when we allow genocide to continue. And that never again has got to mean never again. So 1 million bones in activists is a lot of bones in activists. And so one of the things we're doing is we're looking for teachers and students who are interested in learning more about activism and global issues to come on board and join our movement. And we're asking every single person we meet who liked the project to host a bone-making event of their own and to engage their community and their friends and their families to also come on board. This project is a chance to come together and to tell a collective story through our activism. It's a chance to stand up against injustice and inaction and leave a legacy that can change the course of history. I hope that you'll join us. Thanks.
For Naomi, you can ask it now, actually, because we have a little bit of time for Q&A. But what I wanted to talk to you about is you said people just like you, but it actually will turn out to be exactly like them. So what are we going to do later on today?
So there's this extraordinary setup in the auditorium somewhere around here where we have supplies for everybody to make a bone. And I hope that every single person will make a bone there, but then that you'll go and then want to go host an event in your own house and invite all your friends to make a bone there.
So it's not in the auditorium, it's actually in the gymnasium, and and so what are we going to do? What's the material to make the bones?
So what we're going to be using is the base will be newspaper, and then you tape it, and then there's plaster gauze, which is that stuff that you have casts made out of, and you just wrap it around, and then the bone is made.
We have multiple people who put genocide in the talk to me about on their name tags, actually. Did anybody have a question right now? You can certainly save it and speak to Naomi personally, but does anybody want to give a shout out or anything? It's possible. We'll do it throughout the day, actually. Anybody? We good? Yes? No? I can't see. We have a question right up here, but real loud because we can't, so real loud. How do we persuade those governments to stop killing their people?
Well, we have to first say that this is an issue that we take seriously. So, you know, in 2004, it was the first time that our government ever recognized a genocide while it was happening and still failed to take effective action to intervene. And we set a very horrible precedent and a message to the global community that this is an issue we don't take seriously. You know, and why would other people take it seriously? I don't want to take too much time, but I'd love to talk to you more about that because there are policies right now that we're trying to push forward to at least increase the U.S. capacity to respond.
So during this upcoming break, and then actually all the breaks today, you'll have a chance to go and do that and to make a bone and also to speak with Naomi. If you like, thank you very much.
Thanks.